What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel, and today's video is going to be a bit different from my other videos because today I'm going to be breaking down the best and the worst of Money in the Bank. So I'm going to be I'll be breaking down the good parts and the bad parts of what happened at Money in the Bank from this past Sunday. Now, of course, too, I'm not gonna be breaking down all the matches that were on the card. I'm only gonna be breaking down some of the more better, some of the matches that were actually really good, that were like really good. So obviously one of them is actually gonna be the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, which featured Natalya, Dana Brooke, Naomi, Nikki Cross. Originally it was Alexa Bliss, but of course due to injury, Nikki Cross took over. Bayley, Mandy Rose, Ember Moon, and Carmella. Now, of course, too, out of all 8 of these women, Natalya, Dana Brooke, Ember Moon, and Carmella were the only 4 who actually has been in this match before. But Natalya has actually been in every single one of the women's Money in the Bank ladder matches since its ascension a couple years back. So to break down some of the bad parts that were in the match, obviously too, Carmella being as the fact that she turned her hair blonde again. We all thought that James Ellsworth was gonna get involved, and she was going and she was gonna win the briefcase again, but unfortunately that was not the case. But one of the main bad parts about it was the fact that Sonya Deville had gotten involved in the match and just completely decimated Carmella. Ooh, excuse me. Just completely decimated Carmella and kind of like climbed the ladder for Mandy Rose and allowed Mandy Rose to attempt to grab the briefcase. One of the good parts about the match was what happened earlier in the match, where Ember Moon delivers an eclipse from the ladder on the outside onto the inside. So she was like literally on top of a top of a ladder on the outside of the ring and delivered an eclipse into the ring to Natalya. That was by far one of the most incredible moves I had ever seen ever. That was by far the best ever. Of course, too, again, we all know that Bayley did win that match by becoming Miss Money in the Bank, and she cashed in on Charlotte Flair after she defeated Becky Lynch with the help of Lacey Evans to become your new SmackDown Women's Champion. So I think one of the bad parts about it was just the fact that Sonya Deville got involved, but the good part about it was obviously the eclipse, and also the fact that Bayley won that match. So moving on to the Raw Women's Title matchup between Lynch and Evans. Obviously too, I did a result video just the other day, just this past Sunday, immediately following Money in the Bank, saying that, again, Becky Lynch makes Lacey Evans tap out to retain the Raw Women's title. I think one of the bad parts about it was just the fact that, a lot of people had actually expected Lacey Evans to win, only because of the fact that this would actually be her one and only championship ever, her one title that she's ever won in WWE, whether it was on Raw, SmackDown, or even during her days in NXT. I think honestly that was just the bad part, was the fact that Lacey Evans didn't really do much wrestling of sorts, in the ring. But the good part about it was the fact that Becky Lynch actually got Lacey Evans over a little bit, throughout the whole course of that match. So I gotta give that match an easy 3.5 stars. Only because of the fact that only because Evans did cost Becky Lynch the SmackDown Women's title. So moving on to the last 3 matches that were on the card. First up, the Universal title matchup between Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. Honestly, there weren't really a lot of bad parts in this match. This was like a legitimately really good wrestling catch-as-catch-can match. By far, this match stole the show. Near fall after near fall, counter after counter, finisher after finisher. It was back and forth. One of the main, awesome parts about the match was the fact that Seth Rollins did a reverse superplex onto AJ Styles, and then applied a bit of a Falcon Arrow on AJ Styles in response to the superplex. That was by far the best ever. And then of course, AJ Styles hitting, countering Seth Rollins. What was it, like a powerbomb of sorts with a Styles Clash, which honestly that was by far the best counter ever. And of course, AJ Styles hitting, applying the what's his submission? The calf crusher. Sorry, my mind is not there. I need some root beer. Shout out to Panda Express, not sponsored. Oh, that's some good soda. Anyway, guys, so hands down, that match, easy 5 stars. That was like the best ever. If there was one thing bad about the match, I would probably have to say the fact that honestly, there wasn't really anything bad about the match. Of course, too, if you guys do know anything that was bad about the match, you guys can comment below as well. So moving on to the WWE Championship, as Kofi Kingston successfully defended the title against Kevin Owens. This was another match that was really good. It was right on point. The one thing that was bad, though, was the fact that Kofi Kingston almost lost the title on multiple occasions. When obviously one of them was when Kevin Owens hit the pop-up powerbomb on Kofi. One where he hit a frog splash on Kofi. There was like so many times. But of course, too, the best part about it was just the fact that both of these guys got over with the fans. They literally loved the match. And considering the fact that there were exactly 11 matches on the card, that's literally the most I had ever seen when it comes to a pay-per-view like Money in the Bank. That was like the most ever. Of course, too, it's not WrestleMania where there was literally 16 matches on the card, which I'm still boggled as to why The Undertaker actually did not have a match at WrestleMania. This was actually the first time in 19 years that he's missed WrestleMania. But with that being said, again, this match, Owens, Kingston, best ever. And of course, we now also know that Kofi Kingston will defend the WWE Championship against Dolph Ziggler, which, again, this, I'll say this about Dolph. He is a phenomenal athlete, pardon the pun. But I think, honestly, in my opinion, this is a must-win for Dolph Ziggler. Because if he loses, his career is done. He has no career. But of course, too, we all know, I think Dolph Ziggler might not win it. But with that said, we now move on to the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, which is the last match that I'm going to be talking about for a little bit. Of course, which featured Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, Ali, Finn Balor, the Intercontinental Champion, Andrade, and the Viper Randy Orton. And originally, it was supposed to have been Braun Strowman, but he lost his spot to Sami Zayn. And unfortunately, earlier that night, and Money in the Bank, Sami Zayn had gotten attacked backstage and hung by his legs, literally, and he was so taken to a local medical facility, in Hartford. So when the bell rang, seven superstars. One of the biggest, like probably one of the most heelish things any heel would do is actually turn his back on his friend, which in this case, Baron Corbin did that to Drew McIntyre, and of course McIntyre returned the favor by hitting him with a Claymore. So that was probably the good part about it. There were a lot of there was like so many chaotic good parts about it, about this match. Obviously Finn Balor being chokeslammed, power bombed, and just thrown onto ladders, chokeslammed onto a table. Ali literally being tossed around. Even Ricochet thrown by Drew McIntyre onto a ladder that was bridged between the ring apron and the announcer's desk. And because of McIntyre, and because of that, the ladder split in half. Yeah. That moment right there, Ricochet was done. He was not able to move anymore. So it came down to the final. It came down to 6. Obviously, Orton was still there. Just giving people a bunch of RKOs. Corbin just kicking some ass. Even Ali. And the closing moments of the match, this was like the bad part, the ultimate bad part here. No one was in the ring, just Ali. He climbs the ladder, has his hands on the briefcase, and Brock Lesnar shows up. Again, you guys saw the title of my last video. What the hell? What the fuck just happened? Hello? Yeah, so Brock Lesnar ended up becoming the 8th man, entering his first ever ladder match overall, and he becomes Mr. Money in the Bank. Of course, too, we do know that next Monday on Raw, he will announce who he'll cash in the briefcase on, and because that Kofi Kingston already has his hands tied with Dolph Ziggler, odds are he'll probably cash in on Seth Rollins. But of course, the last time someone made an announcement when they'll cash in, it kind of backfired. Yeah. So odds are lightning might strike twice. Of course, too. There have been reports that the original plan was to have either Ali or Andrade actually win the briefcase to make them a star. The fact is, they were already stars to begin with. With Andrade, he was on his own. He was a ladies' man in NXT, and under the tutelage of Zelina Vega, he became probably one of the best heels I had ever seen. Like, arguably, probably one of the best heels since Edge. And also, becoming NXT champion, holding onto the title for a pretty good while, I will say, and then transcending to SmackDown Live. And Ali, dating back to his days in the Cruiserweight Classic, transcending to Monday Night Raw, being a part of 205 Live, being a part of WrestleMania, now part of SmackDown Live, he's already a star. Either one of those two would have been perfect for Mr. Money in the Bank. But of course, Brock Lesnar did win the briefcase. So, yeah. So that's actually going to do it for this video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think I missed from each of these matches that I brought up. And, and yeah, so again, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, smash that thumbs up button. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe and hit that post notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. It helps the channel a lot, especially with all the problems that YouTube has. And on that, this is your boy Nash signing out.